used the global economic structure to impose a world central bank. George Soros just had a big meeting at the Bretton Woods in America, where the first Bretton Woods event was in 1944, I think it was, and what was suggested there, we need a world central bank as a result of this financial crash. The Rothschilds control global finance. They have from way, way back. And what is global finance? It is lending people money that doesn't exist, called credit, and charging them interest on it. And if they can't pay back this non-existent credit that you've given to them, just figures on the screen, then you can take their wealth that does exist, their house, their land, their business, and all that stuff. And in this way of giving people credit, non-existent money, and charging them interest on it, and then taking the resources when they can't pay it back, has allowed the resources of the world, the real world, to be sucked into the hands of the few. And it's interesting, how is money created? Money is not created by governments, it's created by private banks issuing credit. And this is why the economy comes virtually, grinding down because of what they call the credit crunch. What's the credit crunch? Banks not giving credit. So private banks control by how much credit they give, how much money is in circulation at any one time. When they put lots of money in circulation, units of exchange, by making lots of loans, then there's lots of economic activity, and people have jobs and work and all that stuff. In times of boom, people tend to get in more debt. They have a bigger house, they go on holiday more often, they have a bigger car. Companies invest in more plant and machinery to meet the new demand because of all the economic activity. And then at a certain point, the banks start withdrawing the credit. They push interest rates up, so people can't afford the credit. And what they're doing is taking money out of circulation. That's all they're doing. And suddenly, there's not enough money in circulation to generate all the economic activity that they wanted for, and we start to move over here now to an economic depression, where people lose their homes, they lose their jobs, they lose their property, not because they don't want to work like they did there, but there's not enough units of exchange for the economic activity to generate that work. Who's controlled that? The banks, by how much credit they issue. And there's another thing. When you go to a bank and you borrow, say, 50,000 euros, they'll put into your account 50,000 euros. Just figures on the screen, doesn't exist. But you're not paying back 50,000 euros, you're paying back 50,000 euros plus interest. The interest is never created. So therefore, by design, at any point in any economic cycle, there's never even nearly enough money in circulation to pay back all the debt outstanding plus interest. So some people losing their home, their jobs, their livelihood is built into the system. Because every time they do, then you are like that. Call this economic cycle, all manipulated. And when you control the banks, you control the regulatory organisations of the banks, you control the Bank of England and the central bank, and you control the reporting of it through the media, you stitch up the banking system. And I said in 2008, when the crash started, there was a three-point thing going on here. First, crash the economy, everyone knows it's a problem. September 2008. Second, get governments to throw extraordinary amounts of money at the banking system and make it just disappear. It has. Then, three, at some point, crash the economy again on a massive scale, and so at which point governments can't respond even in the ludicrous way they did. And the only people that come forward are the banking system to say we must restructure the banking system globally because of this problem. The only way to sort it out, and it will be a world central bank and everything that they want. And the other part of this crisis, which we now see, and Germany's not as badly affected as some other countries now, it's a much stronger economy. But the other thing is, when you throw all the money at the banks, governments run out of money for social programs and basic things. So to overcome that, they then have to go to the International Monetary Fund and the European Central Bank, both Rothschild controlled, and take up even more debt and borrowing to sort their economy out because of the money they've given to the banks. That means the IMF, Rothschild, and the European Central Bank own the country. IMF trapping countries in debt, exactly. This is the idea, debt on the back of the people. What is debt? Control. And while the banks get bigger and bigger bonuses, this is what's going on around the world in America. And in Ireland, Ireland are devastated for generations because of the money to bail out the Irish banks. The Irish economy was not in trouble, it was the banks. And now the people are paying for it. And who's gone in? Who's gone in to sort it out? The IMF and the European Central Bank. And all these other countries around Europe, Greece and Portugal, are all going through this stuff. It's all orchestrated. And how can you do it without empathy? Or with empathy? You can't. And these two, Rothschilds Masterplan, John George Icke and Dominic Strauss-Kahn, they're the people from the IMF and the ECB who are now in effect taking over countries with debt for the Rothschilds. And this is the idea, to crash the economy. And we think economically we're challenged now. When they start orchestrating a people's revolution in Saudi Arabia, oil prices are going to go through the bloody roof. And in this period, we have to, if we're going to get through this without too much trauma, we've got to move our point of observation to we are conscious of having an experience and we'll take this challenge on. Yes, we will. Because if we think we are our name, our job, and our family